Hi, I'm Lucy and welcome to Beautifully Unfinished. If you're new here, I really appreciate you joining me here today. This podcast has never been about having all the answers. It's simply about sharing the journey. Midlife can sometimes feel a little lonely. There are so many changes, so many unexpected twists, and so many moments when we quietly wonder, is it just me? The good news is, it's not. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that there's enormous comfort in discovering that we're not alone, that someone else has walked a similar path, and somehow that makes our own journey feel a little bit lighter. My hope is that every time you listen, you'll leave feeling just a little less alone, a little more understood, and perhaps with a small thought that stays with you long after we've finished chatting. So, make yourself a cuppa and let's spend a few minutes together. How many of you grew up in a home that had the good plates? I did. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? They lived in the back of the cupboard and they came out only on special occasions. The everyday plates, they did all the hard work. They did the breakfast, the lunch, the supper. They were constantly in rotation. But the good plates, oh no. They only came out at Christmas, occasionally at birthdays, Easter, or when someone important came for dinner. And I found myself wondering, what if some of us are living exactly like those good plates? We spend so much of our lives waiting until life feels less busy. Waiting until we've lost weight before we wear that dress. Waiting until we've saved a little more money. Waiting until everything feels just right. But what if we got it all wrong? What if we got it the wrong way round? What if today is the occasion that we're actually waiting for? Perhaps today qualifies. One of the lovely things about getting older, and yes, there are a few, is that life begins to teach us lessons we could never ever have understood in our 20s. Of course, nobody tells you about the little indignities along the way, the wrinkles, which each have a name, the mysterious aches and pains, the strange noises when you get out of a chair and your knee creaks. And don't get me started on the reading glasses. I own several pairs, and apparently that's not enough. I spend half my life looking for them, and usually I find them on the top of my head or on the floor somewhere. Age has a wonderful way of keeping us humble. It teaches us how to laugh at ourselves. Perhaps more importantly, it teaches us that perfect moments are incredibly rare. When we're younger, so much of our life seems to revolve around the words, I'll be happy when ... I'll be happy when I get married. I'll be happy when I buy my own home. I'll be happy when I retire. The trouble is, when has a very bad habit of moving. You finally buy that house, if you're lucky, and now it needs renovating. You get the promotion, now life becomes busier and harder. You retire, and now you're wondering where all the time went. It's almost as though happiness keeps moving the finish line just a little bit further away. And while we're busy chasing tomorrow, today quietly slips past unnoticed. I think we do exactly the same thing with our own lives. We save the expensive perfume, the beautiful candles, the bottle of wine we've been keeping for something special. We say, I'll save it for the right occasion. Can I ask you something? Who or what exactly are we waiting for? Because life has taught me that there is no better time than now to enjoy the little things. Maybe it's not really about the perfume, the candles, or the good china after all. Maybe it's about how often we tend to postpone joy. We postpone making memories. We postpone saying yes. We postpone wearing that lovely dress because we'd like to lose another 5 kgs first. Ladies, may I say something to you? Very gently but firmly, wear that bloomin' dress because today qualifies. One of the beautiful gifts of growing older is that life teaches us what really matters. It teaches us that perfection is a myth. Every family has its struggles. Every marriage has its difficult conversations. Every friendship goes through seasons. Every one of us carries something that nobody else can see. When we're younger, we sometimes imagine that one day life will settle down, that we'll reach this magical place where everything feels complete. But life doesn't seem to work that way. There's always another bill to pay, there's another decision to make, another challenge just around the corner, another dream waiting to be chased. Life remains beautifully unfinished, and perhaps that's exactly how it's meant to be. I've also learned something about relationships. When we're younger, we often think love should feel like fireworks every single day. That if it's right, everything should simply fall effortlessly into place. Life has a wonderful way of teaching us otherwise. After a few disappointments, a few broken hearts, a few lessons we never wanted, and if we're fortunate enough to find love again, we begin to see things very differently. We realize that some of life's richest moments are wonderfully ordinary. It's waking up in the arms of the one you love. It's making each other a cup of tea first thing in the morning. It's reaching for someone's hand without even thinking about it. It's laughing so hard at something completely ridiculous that neither of you can remember why you started laughing in the first place. It's perhaps snuggling into the person you love at the end of a long day and quietly thinking, this feels like home. It's sitting on a patio, watching another magnificent African sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and gold. And you sit there with maybe a beer, maybe a cup of tea. Perhaps you have a simple picnic in a quiet spot in the bush, quietly chatting with your love and enjoying a glass of wine and watching the animals go about their day. Taking a deep breath and realizing this is enough. Those moments really make social media. Nobody posts a photograph of an ordinary Tuesday evening, unless they're very bored. Yet somehow those Tuesdays quietly become our lives. Perhaps that's one of the greatest gifts of growing old. We stop chasing the spectacular and we begin appreciating the sacred hidden in the ordinary. How many times have you caught yourself saying, I must phone her, or we really must catch up soon? It's amazing how quietly soon can turn into months, and sometimes even years. Life gets busy, children need us, work demands our attention, parents grow older, and before we know it, another season has slipped by. If there's someone you've been thinking about, don't wait. Pick up the phone, send the message, arrange the coffee, because friendships are a little bit like gardens. If they don't get tended, they slowly become overgrown. Sometimes the greatest gift we can give each other is simply letting each other know that you've been on my heart. Life has taught me something much harder, that the people we love won't always be there. None of us like thinking about that, but loss has a way of quietly rearranging our priorities. Suddenly the things we once thought mattered so much don't. You realize you would give anything for one more moment with that person. It's never the grand occasions we miss. It's the ordinary moments, the ordinary conversations, the hug, the cup of tea, the laughter, the silence shared when you're with someone you love. That's maybe why, as we grow older, I've stopped calling these ordinary days, because these are actually the richest days of our lives. The irony is we often fail to recognize them while we're actually living them. Years later, we look back and we realize we weren't waiting for life to begin. We were already living the very days that we would miss the most. Maybe that's exactly why I've stopped saving the good plates. The silver that's been sitting in the cabinet for years, the expensive perfume, the beautiful candles, the bottle of wine that have been waiting for the right occasion. Because I've realized life isn't waiting for us. It's happening. It's happening while we're making supper, while we're folding the washing or sitting in the traffic, while we're laughing with our grandchildren, while we're walking the dog. while we're sharing a simple meal with someone we love. Those moments seem ordinary, but one day we'll look back and realize they were our lives. Perhaps we've been looking for life in the wrong places. We've been waiting for the big holidays. We've been waiting for the promotions, the milestones, the celebrations, when all along life has been quietly unfolding in the little moments we almost overlook. It's a cup of tea with a friend. It's the sound and smell of those first rains. The smell of dinner cooking. A hug that lasts just a little longer than usual. A hand that instinctively reaches for yours. The cuddle that makes you feel safe and loved. Those aren't interruptions to life, they are life. So this week I'd like to leave you with a little challenge. Use the good plates, not because they're expensive, but because they're meant to be enjoyed. Light the candle. Open the bottle of wine and spray that perfume. Cook the meal, even if it's only for you. Light the candle with it and put on a bit of music. Tell someone you love them. Pick up the phone, arrange that coffee, take that photograph, sit outside and watch the sunset. Laugh a little louder. Hold on to the people you love just a little bit longer. Don't wait till everything is perfect, because you may have a very long wait. Life isn't asking us to have everything figured out. It's simply asking us to notice it, to be present, to be grateful for everything, to recognize the extraordinary gift hidden inside ordinary days. Before we say goodbye, can I leave you with one final thought? Life really announces the moments that will matter the most. They arrive quietly, with that cup of tea, that conversation around the dining room table, the phone calls that last longer than expected, an African sunset that steals your breath away, a child's laugh, a grandchild's hug, driving into the yard and the love of your life is waiting for you in the driveway, ready to embrace you and make you feel so incredibly loved. Those ordinary moments don't feel extraordinary at the time, but one day they become the memories we'd give anything to experience just once more. So don't spend your life waiting for a special occasion, because perhaps the special occasion is called today. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I never take it for granted that you chose to spend part of your day here with me. And I hope you've been reminded that none of us has life completely figured out. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd love it if you would like, follow and subscribe, and perhaps share it with someone who just might need a reminder of this today. Every share helps this little community grow, and I'm so grateful that you're part of it. And until next time, be kind to yourself, be kind to someone else, and look for the little aha moments hidden in the ordinary days. And when you get home today, make yourself a cup of tea or pour a glass of wine and take one of those good plates out the cupboard. Put your favorite biscuit on it and smile and say, I think today qualifies. God bless you, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.